Do you like my outfit?
You've never looked better.
I really hope you guys are watching this. If you're not, let me describe the fit for you
Paint
right
the
now.
picture.
I'm wearing these chicks? I'm wearing a trench coat with chicks, little baby chicks. It's like a wax coated trench coat. I also have, how many yellow zit stickers do I have in my face?
At least 5.
At least 5. I'm having some sort of allergic reaction. To what? I don't know. I have yellow sunglasses on. I have one necklace that says have fun and the other one that says ew, which seems kind of like a juxtaposition. Nevertheless, we also have both dogs here, but Willa just went rogue. Hey,
Come here.
come on. Why don't you come on up? All right, you want to just hang out? Okay. Kelsey and I just got back from New York Fashion Week, and I figured we would do a little like kiki, because it was Kelsey and I's first traveling work trip. Yeah, everyone's gonna get a little triggered. Okay, let's just relax. It was Kelsey and I's first work trip. It was also Kelsey's first official fashion week. And we're just gonna fucking talk shit. Okay, where do we begin? I mean, we didn't eat like
anything.
We didn't eat a meal. Like I think twice we had like an actual meal. I did an episode. I want to say like maybe the 3rd or 4th episode was a complete rant about my fashion week experience where I did New York and then I did Milan and then I did Paris, and that was actually one of my favorite episodes because pretty much everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We had a pretty no. Is she gonna take a piss on my fucking rug? Oh, it looked like she was about to drop. Hey, sis, pop on up here.
Come on over here.
Get your ass up here. She's such a rogue dog. Honestly, knowing that like fashion week everything is so last minute and it's so chaotic and it really is hard to plan, it actually went pretty well.
I feel like it was perfect.
We kind of crushed it. We were there for a really
1 week in New York in general, but 1 week at New York Fashion Week feels like 6 months.
Thank you. And I said this on that last podcast where the interesting thing about Fashion Week is there's something about it that makes you feel so young. I'm actually wearing a fucking trench coat right now. It's 100 degrees. Listen, guys, this was a $550 jacket, and I know I'm not going to wear it. It was an impulsive decision because my best friend was there, and I was really feeling the vibe, and I just have to justify that I bought this and get my use.
I was also really trying to play devil's advocate. I was like, you're not going to wear it.
I
You're
know.
going to wear it on like one lunch. Like, just make sure you like it. And she literally was like, I'm buying it.
I went through the... Wait, this is the ADD of both of us. We're not going to get through one fucking topic. Okay, I went through all stages of grief. We walk into Diesel. Mind you, this always happens if I get like one free day. I think we have to call this the spooky episode. Guys, everything that was our word this week was spooky. Everything was, but in our defense, there were a couple moments that were really spooky.
Also, just what a great word.
It's such a good word.
Spooky.
Don't sit on my fucking timer and then I don't know where we're 4 minutes in. Okay, real quick. I know I'm like out of order here. We both have ADD. We're also like all running on no sleep. So we have one free day of shopping, and I don't know. I feel like I overcompensate when I have one free day of shopping because I have to buy everything. I'm like, oh my God, sweet treat. We go into Diesel, and first I pick up a sweater, which I didn't realize Diesel was the price point that it was. I pick up a sweater. I love it. I'm like, I need to get this. I look at the price tag, $550. I go, Kelsey, this shit's $550. I'm not getting it. Put it back. Then I find this jacket that I'm wearing, and I say, oh my God, like imagine if I bought it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna try it on for a photo. I was like, we'll just get like a cute little photo of me trying it on. And then somehow I end up buying both. I went from like, oh, maybe I'll get it, like kind of still fucking around. And then I just like came back to Kelsey and I was like, I'm getting both.
Well, the worker was like, we only got one of each size.
That's what did
and
for
nobody's bought it yet. And Christina was like, ding, ding, ding. I'll be the first one.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like, I'm a douchebag I don't care about like if it's designer or not designer. If you were to tell me we only have one of these, or this is the last one, or we haven't sold any yet, I'm a sucker for, you want to sell me anything, just make it seem really exclusive.
Tell me it's one of a kind.
And I'm taking out a loan for it. So anyway, that was our final shopping day.
Backtracking.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start from
the beginning.
So the thing about Fashion Week, if anybody gives a fuck about how it all works, I actually feel like Devil Wears Prada is a pretty accurate representation of the chaos, the last minute rushing, not really having much direction. Everything is improvised. Everything, there's always having to be a plan
Things
B.
pop up like 20 minutes before you need to get there and you're 30 minutes away. And
that I feel like it's a pretty accurate representation, because what happens is I had some opportunities. The first deal that I got was to train like a Rockette with the Rockettes and Sephora.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucking forgot about that.
Me too, because it was
felt like 6 months.
Yes. And what I was saying before I interrupted myself was that when I did my first podcast episode about Fashion Week, I was trying to explain that there's something about it that makes you feel so youthful and so hip and young. And then on the flip side, it also makes you feel as though you've aged 20 years. I don't know how to explain it. It really does. That many days in a hotel room, but a fashion trip where there's just shit everywhere. There's couriers dropping off clothes, picking up clothes, people dropping off food. I got like chicken fingers on plate. Like, it just gets really spooky on during Fashion Week.
Our hotel room by the end of it was spooky.
It was really scary. Yeah. And so I got this offer to do the Rockettes and Sephora, which I was like, that's such a fucking dream. My mother was a dancer. She like, oh my God. She was so envious that I was doing it. So that was our first offer. And I had Kelsey come, and I had one of my managers, Hannah, come with us. And from there, all of these great opportunities came. And we just, as time went on, more and more came through. And it was a lot of improvisation. But the funny part about all of this is, so leading up, so I know, all I know at this point is I'm hosting this tailgate for Target. I'm hosting that. I kind of forgot about that too.
Same.
I kind of forgot about everything we did. And then the Sephora thing. You need to stay.
Yeah, please. Where are you
Stay.
going?
So those are the two things I know that I have. And the week leading up to this trip, Kelsey and I shoot 10 campaigns. We shoot a lot of campaigns. And I write concepts that I submit to a brand, and they're always obviously a little insufferable, a little.
I thought you were going to say, and they're always really good.
Well, they are really fucking good. Like, not to toot my own horn, they're pretty good. But they're always just like a little much, right? And then I write them, and then I send it off, and I feel so fulfilled because I'm like, yeah, I wrote it. I got one thing off my list. And then when they approve it, I'm like, fuck, I actually have to film it now. So all of our campaigns that we shot leading up to going to Fashion Week were me in heels, which again, I can do anything in heels, but specifically I'm jumping up and down. I did a solid core class in heels, and I was doing fine until the final inning. I get out of my car in flip-flops after doing our solid core deal, and I basically fall to the ground. My foot gives out. I feel the sharp pain on the top of my foot. I go, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And that night, I was supposed to celebrate my dear friend Mina's birthday, in which they rented one of those bike bars where you bicycle and you go to bars. Okay, so now I have like a bunk ass foot. Then all of a sudden, I start feeling very ill. And it's funny now, but I was
spiraling
about it because, you get these deals, and then how the fuck am I going to get out of it? Like, what am I going to do if I'm
like, you got to train with the Rockettes. You can't have a broken ankle.
Right. So here I am thinking I'm going to be doing kicks and jumps. So I'm really, and I can I can really push through things. I could not walk. I was limping everywhere. So turns out the feeling like I was getting sick was extreme anxiety. And it was my first time discovering Zofran, which Zofran, honestly, give me a partnership.
That saved you all week.
It was kind of bad. So Jane I didn't even really know anti-nausea medication was a thing. I feel like people, aside from people like, I know that it's given to people that are going through chemo or have the flu or whatever it is, but honestly, for people that suffer from anxiety and it manifests in being nauseous, it saved my life because Shane was like, oh, I think I have an anti-nausea medication that I got when I had the flu. I'm like, that's a thing. Luckily, it was a full prescription and it doesn't expire until 2026. I said, give me one of those.
Oh yeah, baby.
I popped one of those. It was like, it changed my life. And then I brought them with us to New York, and on the days that I had a lot of anxiety, it saved me. But basically my diet was Zofran, cigarettes, bagels, and coffee. And like, and then, I mean, it worked out great because the morning that we were leaving, I was up at 4 a.m. My ankle, like miraculously, was perfect. Granted, I had been icing it. I skipped Mina's birthday. I was taking Advil, but literally that morning it was perfect. And the next day we did the Rockettes. It was great. My skin looked amazing. It doesn't now. I feel like everything
came together pretty perfectly for the most part.
Talk to me about your first experience on a work trip with me, what that was like, and talk to me about your thoughts on Fashion Week.
I'd been to Fashion Week twice before just for myself as like a micro creator, which is very different than doing it as like, thank you.
Eyelash. Okay, got it.
Is very different than doing it at like the level that you're doing it and also doing it for work. I feel like we were just every 5 seconds we were doing something, but it was so fun. Like the energy was so high. Christina and I travel really well together, which I think also helps us work really well together. So I just felt like we were in a really great flow the whole week. Like go. It was so exciting. I got to go into shows with her. I got to go into events. Like it was obviously, I was there for Christina, but it was really cool on my end too to be able to experience these things for me as well. And I just had so much fun. I feel like it obviously was work. Like we were busy. We were constantly doing something, but it was also fun. Just getting to hang out with your best friend. We shared a hotel room. So at the end of the night, we're like giggling until 2 a.m. talking shit about, whatever happened. And I don't know. I just feel like it all went so seamlessly. And I think that's a big part of like why we work so well together or how we work so well together is that like we're both, well, maybe you aren't really good under pressure, but I feel like when things are really hectic, I'm pretty calm.
You are.
And I feel like that maybe helps you stay calm.
Yes.
And I feel like that's kind of how we had a really successful week because I didn't feel like either of us were like, oh my God, what the fuck the whole time.
It's so weird. I actually feel like the longer we've worked together, the closer our personal friendship has gotten.
1000%.
Which it was obviously a big concern for me when Kelsey started working for us because I'm like, well, this is my best friend. If this goes south, I not only do I lose an employee, I lose a best friend. And I feel like, sorry, people are upstairs if you heard a bang. I just feel like every tiny thing, especially with the stuff that I'm doing, it's so fast paced and everything is last minute that there really is no room for like sugarcoating things. We have to be very, very direct about what we need, what we like, whatever it is. So we've just gotten really good at communication. And I said to Kelsey before going, something that I've learned, because like Kelsey's kind of been the guinea pig for my people on my team of what I needed and what I like. And what I've realized is the best characteristic for me. And I don't know how to verbalize that. Like this is supposed to be positive and I'm still trying to find a better comparison because I feel like this comparison doesn't sound the way that I intend it to. But I said somebody that's really, really good at working on your team is like an unbelievable housekeeper. And what I mean by that is an unbelievable, like somebody that manages your home. Let's just say your house manager, right? They take care of everything. They clean up all your messes and you don't ever really know that they're there. Like they don't add stress. They clean up messes before you even know there's a mess to be cleaned up, essentially. They're basically really good maid of honors is what they are because
well, you're my maid of honor.
I know.
Love
I'm
that.
taking notes because it's putting out fires that person doesn't even know is there to begin with. And I get very overwhelmed very easily and I get very stressed out. And I think because I have really bad ADD, if I'm so locked into something and somebody brings something else to my attention, I crumble. And Kelsey is so calm and I'm like, you can be stressed on the inside, just don't show me, because I'm also such a people pleaser that once I start picking up on people around me being stressed, I will inherently be very stressed.
Yeah.
And you're very good at that. And I was just like adding random tasks to Kelsey because
my resume is
no, she was
now.
hemming my pants, she was steaming clothes, she was editing, she was shooting, she was, making reservations, like kind of dealing with everything that we needed to do. And I also, the first time I went to the first couple, this was my 5th fashion week, which is crazy, and I'm actually going to be venturing to my 6th in a week in Paris. And the first few, I remember leaving feeling really, really icky. Because there's it's a really heightened week. You have diehard fashion people in the fashion world, right? You have like the Anna Wintours of the world going to these shows, and then you have creators going to these shows, and then you have A-list celebrities, and then you have, paparazzi and people interviewing you, and there's this weird competitive energy at some of these places, and there's this weird flex of people comparing what they got invited to and what you got invited to. It honestly feels like I never rushed a sorority, but it kind of feels like you're rushing a sorority. Like, oh, what sorority are you? Yeah,
it's very
cliquey.
The energy is just like everybody's trying to give their like best version of themselves, but almost in like a, well, I'm better than you kind of way. So it doesn't come off really genuine.
Yes. And the first couple times I left, I don't think the imposter syndrome ever goes away, to be honest. It hasn't gone away for me. Every time I go to these places, like I was sitting at one of the shows, directly next to me was Nikki Hilton, and I was just trying to play it so cool. And I'm like, how the fuck did I get seated next to Nikki Hilton? I don't think the imposter syndrome ever goes away, but I will say what I really appreciated this time around is it was the first fashion week I didn't leave feeling icky. And it wasn't like, oh, I deserve a seat here. It was more or less like, I don't care. This is what I'm going to do. And then I'm leaving and I'm not letting my emotions get involved. And I also think that's because I bailed on a lot of parties. The shows, there's definitely that energy. But guys, the shows are so quick. Like, you spend all day in hair and makeup, you get there, you do your paparazzi photos, like you maybe do some interviews, the show happens and you're done. And I kind of just limited my experience to those moments. I think when everybody congregates at the parties later on, that's where it starts to feel a little like, where did you go today? What shows are you? Oh, I'm going to this show. I'm going to this show. And I had 2 shows, unfortunately, that fell through. And one of them was my dream show. And I don't know, I feel like I handled it very well.
Fabulously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly was a little, not like concerned, but I was a little worried that you were going to be like even more bummed
spiraling
than you were. Yeah. And I feel like you were kind of just like, okay, like that sucks, but we'll get him next time, or you know what I mean?
I feel like, honestly, I know I always go back to it, but so many years of being rejected as an actor and now doing what I'm doing now and being like, had I only known then that I was going to be pushed to do something that wasn't even in the realm of my brain, it really, really made me trust the process. And I feel like I get bummed out. Like if I get news, like I get bad news all the time where a deal falls through or somebody doesn't want to work with me or whatever it is. And I have this moment of like, that sucks. And then I remember, you know what, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And maybe I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And I ended up like 2 shows fell through, one of which was my dream show. That was a little hard for me, but I ended up getting 2 really great shows spontaneously that week. And I was like, you know what, I'm really going to trust the process, and I'm not supposed to be there this time around for whatever reason. But you do get a lot of that during fashion week too, where things fall through and you kind of have to just be willing to roll with the punches a little.
I think that's something that I really admire about you too, though, is that you handle not even rejection, just like bad news and disappointing news essentially really well. And that's something that I think anybody can learn from, because that's not easy.
Yeah.
To find out something that you were so excited to do is now not going to happen. Like you could have easily just been like, well, fuck that. You know what I mean? So I think that that's just something like really admirable about you. That you just handle it so well. And I'm sure that it's attributed to your years of acting and everything. And like, that's not an easy thing to do. but you just handle it so gracefully. And I think that you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. I think also just at this point in my life, I've had friendships in which I thought I was going to have for the rest of my life. I have had relationships that I thought I was going to have for the rest of my life. I've lived in certain places I thought I would never move. I had jobs that I thought were going to be my forever job. And all of those things turned out to not be true.
Mm-hmm.
And I am really loving where I am. And that's just been a promise that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of trust this. I also think something that's important to mention and why I have this idea is that if I'm having a moment in which I feel really insecure, I let the negativity get to me. For an example, you know, if one of my videos gets on the wrong side of TikTok and I get an influx of hate comments, and then I have this moment where I think it's not fair to discount the millions of positive comments and positive interactions I have because of these. And I think I don't leave the house much, to be honest. And when I go somewhere for New York, for an example, I have a huge demographic in New York, and I get to talk to a lot of people that follow me, follow the dogs, listen to the podcast, whatever it is. And again, I've talked about this. I go places and I always think no one's going to know who I am. And then when people not only come up to me, but they say the kindest things.
Everybody's so nice.
So nice.
Yeah,
I really do have
nice.
like the best, most respectful, coolest demographic of people. And then I try to remember that and remember it when I get hate comments or whatever, that there are people that like what I do, even though sometimes I have these moments where I think everybody hates me and I'm irrelevant and yada, yada, yada. It's all about perspective. It is really what it is. And I mean, even as an actor, I remember hearing stories of A-list actors that missed out on their dream role or lost their dream role to somebody else. And rejection happens at every single level. Success, just because you're quote unquote successful doesn't mean that you're not going to deal with rejection. It's just literally part of the process. And I'm just trying to be better at welcoming it. But what I was going to say is I think a big reason why I didn't feel as icky was that I had you there with me.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of keep me in. If I'm just there by myself or I'm just there with my manager, I kind of go into, going into my head and overthinking things, and having somebody there that knows me so well that I can just kind of vent to, and made me realize like, oh, none of that, like I'm here with my best friend. I don't really care about what like Joe Schmo thinks about me at some party.
Yeah, no, 1000%. I also feel like people don't realize like we've literally known each other for more than half of our lives.
Yeah.
So like that's just a totally different level of comfort. So I have to imagine that makes you feel a little bit more at ease, kind of knowing also we've now worked together for a year. So like I know a lot about you and what you need and what you want. So I have to imagine that plays a large part when we're sharing a hotel room.
Totally.
And, you know what I mean? Well, what was your favorite moment? Like, or the moment where you were like, oh shit, like this is actually really cool.
I will say, I really liked hosting the tailgate. I got to talk to some really cool people and I had fun. I was really, really nervous about that. I don't know. You know what it fucking is? I'll tell you what. When you go to these fashion weeks or any of these events, you get asked the stupidest fucking questions. It's like, if you were left on a deserted island and you could only bring one color pillowcase, what would it be? And you have to be like, oh my God, great
Green.
question. Like, it's just, and you've been in glam since 6 a.m. and the questions are just, and that's just what it is. So when I was hosting this, I got a bunch of sample questions and I said, I can't. Some of these are those, you know? And I was like, I can't put people through that. So I tried to like do research on people and ask them like different fun questions. But that's always what I least look forward to at these things, is not being asked funny. I love funny, stupid questions, but then there are questions that it's like,
if your outfit could talk, what would it say about you?
It's stuff like that, where I'm just, So I think that's why I was so nervous about hosting, because I was like, I don't want to put people through what I feel like sometimes we get put through with not being asked really intentional questions or funny questions or whatever it may be.
You crushed it though.
Thank you. I that was fun. But I will say I really enjoyed the Colina Strata show. This was my second season and it was on like a helipad.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Right
It
on
was
the
a
water.
helipad.
That was just so sick. It was at the perfect timing. It was at golden hour.
When else are you going to be on a helipad at sunset in New York? You know what I mean? Like that was kind of something where you're like, oh, this is actually a really cool spot.
And Taylor Momsen's really tall.
So tall.
I mean, I know she was wearing platforms, but she was like really fucking tall.
No, she was.
Did you also see Melissa Gorga at the Bronx and Bonko show from Real Housewives of New Jersey? She was walking in front of us.
Real Housewives of
Oh
New
my God, yes.
Jersey.
She was walking in front of us and I was about to say something and I'm like, what am I going to say? She's fucking everybody was trying to go eat because that show ran late. But yeah, she was in front of me. And then like Nikki Hilton.
That was sick. Literally, they were like, oh, Christina, your seat's over here. And we were both just like.
And I look at Kelsey, like there's 3 seats. The Bronx and Bonko show is probably the biggest show I've ever been to as far as like how many people were there. It was
also long. It was like a 20-minute show.
Which I love. I always beg for a longer show. That was my favorite show as far as clothes on the runway was fucking unbelievable. That show was so massive and you're looking for your seats and it's pitch black in there and there's all these sections and then finally someone's like, oh yeah, you're going to be here. And I look over and I see like 2 girls talking to each other across from the one seat that's in the middle. And the girl who is Nikki Hilton, and she has her purse on what is going to be my seat. And she sees someone be like, oh, Christina, you're sitting there. And she moves her purse. And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. I'm not sitting down yet. And I look to Kelsey and I go, is that Nikki Hilton? And Kelsey goes, yeah. I go, okay. And then I just go and I sit and that is the most intimidating thing before a fashion show. You get sat next to these people and you kind of have to kiki as if we're all on the same playing field. You got to play it cool.
You looked like you were on the same playing field as her.
I kept my
though.
sunglasses
she was sitting
on
there like legs crossed in this like chic little number and
I
the
was
sunglasses were on, the hair was slicked and I was like, it's my girl.
I was like, just don't say anything stupid. Don't. And then she just like looks and then the girl next to me was on the other side was super nice. She was a DJ and I was just like, hi, I'm Christina. And she's like, hi, I'm Nikki. And then, we're just sitting there and there ends up being like 20 minutes before the show starts. And you're kind of you're both looking straight ahead, but you're also being photographed. So you like, do we make small talk? Also, what do I small talk with Nikki Hilton about? For an example, I see fucking Saweetie. Was it Saweetie? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was Saweetie. Yeah. Okay. Saweetie was there. And I like, there's all of a sudden this just like big moment of all these photographers. And I look over and I say, oh, that's Saweetie. And Nikki's like, oh, she has a song with my sister. And I wanted to be like,
oh, right.
And I wanted to be
Paris.
like, Paris Hilton. Right. Got it.
Sick.
And I was like, oh yeah. Like, what do you do?
I did see her give you a mint.
She did. I was like, I basically had my tiny little Prada that holds nothing and I threw a couple Rogue mints and then I was so insecure because you're literally face to face having conversations and I have, nervous breath when you've been up really early in the morning and you're nervous and it's just like you can feel it on the sides of your mouth kind of like caking and it's just like I was feeling that so I was trying not to speak so I just like pick up my purse and I'm like I know I have a Rogue mint in here but I said it to myself and like she was like she's like I have a mint and I'm like I wouldn't love nothing more than a Hilton mint.
I would take your mint.
Please
Thank
give me.
you.
And she gives it to me and she hands me the little white mint and she goes, people probably think I'm giving you ecstasy. And I'm like, let them. I don't care. I will gladly take ecstasy from you, Nikki. I've never done it.
I will take anything
but today
from
is
you.
the day I will do it. And then like, they're taking a long time and she's like, I am going to be late to my lunch at Saks. And I was like, gotta get this girl. And then like she gets up to get photos and she sits back down. I'm like, this lady's got a lunch at Saks. Like telling the photographers, I'm like, what
Hurry
do
it
I
up.
say? But yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I look anytime I see those videos now on social media of like some random A-list celebrity, like Sabrina Carpenter sitting down next to Central C, and it's like, we know who we are, but we're like in such, not that I'm comparing me and Nikki Hilton to Sabrina Carpenter and Central C, but I just watch those videos so differently now because I'm like, I know they probably are like, what do we talk about? Like, I know we're equally A-listers, but we have nothing in common. What's the small talk here? And everybody's just like sticking cameras in your face and taking photos of you.
Also, I would love to be inside the person's brain that does the seating chart.
Oh, me too.
Like,
oh, me too.
I want to know the logic. I want to know why. Or were they just like picking out of a hat? Like, you're going to go here.
Yeah, because some of them are really random. Some of them are very, very random. But yeah, I feel like we had. Do we have any other?
Well, tell me what your least favorite part was.
Oh, my least favorite part.
Or a moment where you were like, I don't want to do that again.
We went to a party the night that I got there, and I was just giving what I thought I was going to give. And I, went off the plane into glam. And it was one of those events where it's just a lot of really tall, beautiful people. And everybody thinks that they're massively important.
Yeah.
And I would this is when I get pissed off. I'll squeeze by somebody and I'll be like, oh, excuse me. And they just kind of go,
stand there.
Like as if I am inconveniencing them to the most obscene level that I need to scoot by them. Or it's
like that. Let me just scoot in.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, and then also I'm like half their size height wise. So I just look like this little gremlin that's creeping around the party trying to scoot around everybody. And then the other thing that they do that pisses me off is there'll be a bar and there'll be a million fucking people waiting to get to the bar, and people will get their drink. There's only 7 slots at a bar. People will get their drink and then they'll linger there, and I'll have to be like, do you mind if I scoot in to grab a drink? And they look at me like I'm fucking insane for asking that.
Yeah.
Get your fucking drink and scoot on over. That was kind of the moment where I was like, and also the final night, Kelsey and I stayed out a little late. And
that was a fun party.
It was so fun. We went to a paper mag event. We saw Demi Lovato.
First, we went to the best sushi restaurant in New York, Bond Street. On Bond Street, there's 2 locations.
Tell people because then we're not going to be able to get a reservation. But
I just already told the people.
It was, if I could create my dream restaurant, it was that restaurant, because not only was it some of the best sushi I've ever had, it is in this dark
little basement vibe,
sexy,
low tables.
And then they're playing Gunna, Drake. It's one of those, if you're going out after and you don't want to fall asleep at dinner, it's a perfect
place.
Oh my God, it was so great. So,
well, let me paint the picture.
Paint it.
Christina has to go to this event first, and they didn't give her a +1, so she went alone. And then I was like, great, I'll meet you at dinner. I'm in my little baggy jeans, my little pointed toe kitten heel, and my leather jacket. And 2 minutes after I get in my Uber, she calls me and she's like, we're going to the club.
Mind you, I was already after dinner at this point.
She's drunk. She's in this sequin, gorgeous Caperni dress, looking hot as ever. And I'm like, cool, I have a leather jacket on. I didn't come prepared for this. And she's like, no, it's fine. You're going to be fine. So whatever, we have this fabulous dinner at this place. And then we go to the club, which it was fine. Yeah. But then we're just dancing. The area that they put us in had a literal fireplace. Why? It's summer and the fireplace was on. And we're just dripping sweat. I'm in my little kitten heels. Everybody there, Demi Lovato's there. Everybody's there is looking so fire. They came prepared to go to the club. And I'm just yes, sick.
And then it was a little spooky because that was kind of our last hurrah. The next morning, I had a partnership where I was going to the Uniqlo flagship store, which I fucking love Uniqlo. I was so excited.
That's also a sick store.
It's a sick store. If you're in New York or going to New York, it's really a great store. In my mind, so this partnership was to post stories about this new store. And in my mind, so we had this thing the next morning. I had to be there between 8 and 10 a.m. And then after that, we're getting on a flight and going to LA. Well, I go to bed at 4 by the time I go to bed. And I wake up at 7 because I need to pack. You want to talk about spooky?
We need to insert a photo of what the hotel room looked like, because it was
okay. I'm like, it was getting real dicey in that hotel room. Okay, it was because people also some for shows they'll drop off one outfit and 9 times out of 10 they'll come take it back. But then for an example, for Target, they sent me 75 pieces of clothing. And then for something else, they sent me a bunch of clothing. So we just have all this clothing. Now, mind you, all 3 of my suitcases were already past capacity when I got to New York. So I'm trying to, and then a lot of this belongs to my stylist. And that's expensive, the clothes that she's giving me. So I got to prioritize putting that in the suitcase that's going on the plane. So I wake up early to pack thinking like, okay, we're going to go into the store. I got like a couple of zit stickers. We're going to pop into the store. I have no voice. We're going to browse, do a little shopping. Kelsey's going to take photos. Will be great. I walk in. The store is basically IKEA for clothes. It's fucking massive.
Yes, giant.
The entire team is like there greeting me. And then they have like an on-site photographer that's grabbing, I don't know, BFA photos. God, I hope those photos don't end up on BFA.
We haven't seen them.
Because one of my eyes all day was closing. I had one eye that was just completely closed. And I was like pulling it together, trying to be super social. And I was actually dying inside. I think I was still a little drunk when I woke up. And then by the time I got there, I was hungover. And then like food was making me nauseous. And they were walking around with these little hors d'oeuvres. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to be, it was just, that honestly was the most impressive thing that I did all week, was trying to pull it together. Was my tit out this whole podcast episode? No.
In no way.
That was the spookiest.
You pulled it together.
Yeah.
Though. The second that we walked out, she was like, nobody talked to me.
Yeah. I went complete, nonverbal for
a bit of time.
Which
I also would like to say, I think is also why you and I work so well together and travel well together, is because we both need nonverbal time, and we also both understand needing nonverbal time. So if she doesn't want to talk, I'm like, all right, sick. I'll be here by myself.
If you're in any relationship, friend, partner, whatever, and you feel like you can't do that, that
Get
fucking
out.
sucks. Yeah. I was in one of those, and I was just like, friendship. And I was like, I need you to not talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't heard anything you've said for the last 15 minutes. Why are you talking at me about stuff?
Yeah.
Did we have any other tea about New York? Did anything else like go crazy wrong?
Literally nothing went wrong.
I know.
I mean, your like gold dress, your vag would have been out, so we swapped that.
My puss would have been
but
pussin'.
Nothing like went. I honestly, I don't wish anything went wrong, but I wish we had some tea.
I know,
like I wish we had a.
We literally
moment.
like 4 days in, we were like, damn, we don't have anything to talk about in the pod.
I know,
because it was pretty fucking seamless. It's exhausting. Like some days are definitely a little bit. I guess what I would like to briefly touch on is it's been very interesting coming back and looking at TikTok and seeing the whole discourse about creators ruining Fashion Week.
Yeah, but that is the same discourse that happens every single year, though. Somebody always has something to say about it. But I'm like, this is also just the way the world is now. Like the creators are the forefront, essentially.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of, like, when A-list celebrities go, people don't say anything about it. Most celebrities have terrible style. Most celebrities don't know how to fucking dress. Like, that's a fucking fact. Like, most of them have no sense of style because they have a stylist. They have people pulling outfits for them. The show is giving them stuff. Like, but nobody has an issue with that. And like, listen, should all creators be there? Should all celebrities be there? That's a different conversation. But as far as just the category of creators, just being like, all creators are ruining Fashion Week, I think that we're seeing shifts in all industries just because that's just how it's been. We've seen it in traditional Hollywood. Like television and film has essentially been kind of dead. Like that's not to the fault of creators. That's not even to the fault of actors. Like the industry has just changed. I think with AI, I think with social media, I think with all of the things that these industries have gone through individually over the past 10 or so years, we're seeing huge shifts. And I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, creators ruined it.
Yeah.
Are there some dickbag creators? Sure. Are there some dickbag A-list celebrities? Absolutely. Like to point to one specific group, you know, I saw a whole discourse about people who are like dressing different just to be different, or then people that dress like everybody else just to dress like everybody else. Like I feel like creators kind of are fucked because if they wear something eccentric, people call them out for being disingenuous because they're just trying to get a photo.
But also at Fashion Week, that's a time when you should be wearing
Especially in New
things
York.
different. Like have a little fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's kind of, you're kind of damned. But then if you dress like everybody else, you're dressing like everybody else.
you can't win.
I think like I always get the same question at Fashion Week and I always answer the same thing. It's like, what's your fashion ick? It's like people that take themselves too seriously, people that dress because they think that they have to dress that way for whatever fucking reason. And you can definitely see it when something looks disingenuous. But like I saw some great creator fits at shows. And I think, Yeah, I don't know. That's just always an interesting. I always feel really I'm always interested about that discourse.
I think also what people probably don't necessarily realize, or maybe they do, is that a lot of the outfits that creators or celebrities or whatever are wearing at shows are given to them to wear. So 9 times out of 10, like you can't really even like you pick out of a line sheet or whatever, but you can't really like make it your own. You can't really mix and match. Like you kind of have to wear the complete look. So I just feel like it's weird when people get called out for whatever reason, if they're doing too much or they're not doing enough, and it's an outfit that was given to them to wear to that. It's like you can only do so much.
Yeah, and I also think something that's interesting about changing is socialites. Like the 90s and the 2000s, we had socialites, right? Like Paris Hilton. Let's say Paris Hilton. I feel like she's such a good example of a socialite, where she wasn't a traditional celebrity, but she was at everything. She fit into so many different verticals. Socialites are creators. Like all of the socialites. I mean, I think Alex Earl, for an example, I think of like she's our modern day socialite in the sense that she just fits into all these different verticals. We see her at different things. So that niche of society has also evolved. And that's why I think also we see a lot of creators, is that there are a lot of creators that are our modern day socialites.
Yeah.
And we see them at things and they fit and they're fun. And it also helps to bring in a different demo. I mean, I talk about this with award shows. When creators started going to award shows, people got pissed. And as an actor first, I saw both sides of this, where more times than not, when you make it as an actor, you've had to make a lot of sacrifices. You've been through the fucking trenches, and then to see creators kind of be given opportunities that you worked hard for, there is a little bit of resentment. But at the same time, award shows kind of were dead. Nobody really was tuning into award shows anymore. And I think creators and the quote unquote modern day socialites brought in this new demo because people were like, oh, we can follow the fashion on TikTok.
Yeah, we can see more of like an inside scoop.
Totally. It was like the same way we used to watch, E-News live correspondence. Now I can just tune in to what's his face, who does is it Nick Campbell? Who does all like the reviews of what people are
I don't know anybody's name.
It's like the fashion police. You know what I mean? Like it now brings in an interesting demographic. Look at Winston right now.
No, and Willie.
What was your favorite part?
Ooh. I mean, I just love being in New York. Like the energy is so fun, but I really do. This is going to sound so like sappy, but I really just loved watching you shine, and just like, I'm just so proud of you. I don't know. It was really fun to watch you just like do your thing. You're so natural, just like how to light up a room. And it was so fun to watch, not only as somebody who's helped you get there a little bit, but also just as your best friend. I was just so proud of you. I also loved our like Soho shopping day. Yeah. All of like the restaurants that we went to. Fellini Coffee, my favorite.
Yeah, we love Fellini.
And then being able to go into shows. I had no expectation of being able to go into anything with you. I was kind of just like, I'm here to do my job. I'm here for the ride. I love being in New York. Like, happy to be here. And it ended up working out that I was able to
three or four.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I got into Colina, Cynthia Rowley, and Bronx. And they were fabulous. And I loved it. And I loved being able to see up close and personal the shows and kind of the behind the scenes of it all.
Well, thanks for saying that.
You're
that
welcome.
was really nice. I will say that this is the first fashion week that I think I've learned how to pose for a BFA and a Getty
and they were so fire. So many photos were so good.
Yeah, so this is my hack, by the way. So if you don't go on my Getty, old photos, I look like a deer in headlights. I open my eyes really wide because there's a lot of flashes. And you're trying not to blink, and my eyes are dry, so I open my eyes really wide. Naturally, I have fucking massive eyes, so all I've just been doing lately is just shutting my eyes 3/4 of the way, and that's been the master of the smize for me. And I actually didn't hate any of my BFA photos.
No, they literally, all of them were good. Also, the glam.
No, I had the best glam. That helps.
What was your favorite?
I don't think I could pick a favorite.
I know, they were all good.
I really don't think I could pick a favorite. We had, he works with Makeup by Mario. He was great. He was fabulous. Oh my God. Like so skillful. And then Yelena, who did my makeup for Colleen Estrada, who did my makeup last year for Colleen Estrada. She was incredible. How the fuck am I going to pick somebody for October? I'm going back.
I don't know.
I'm going back for something for a bucket list.
Stay tuned.
Can I say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can say. I'm going to the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Sorry, guys. That's like I literally shit my pants. I also got that when I was in New York, and that helped me be okay with some of the rejection
Yeah,
too.
because you're like, okay.
Because that's been a dream for me to go see that. And I honestly, just to see Alex Consani walk in real time, like, oh man.
The water video I watch like every month. She's
I love her so
fucking
much.
so funny.
Yeah, so I had very incredible glam.
Fabulous glam. The straight hair, the braid.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everything you crushed, but every photo was good. Like
Yeah.
literally. Also, the amount of content that we took that we were able
I
to
still have
fucking
so much.
we literally crushed so hard. Not only did you get great like professional photographs, we were able to bang out so fucking much, and
Yeah.
it was all fabulous.
Yeah, it's also really good. It's kind of like when you take pictures, like when I go to a shoot and I shoot with a photographer that I'm really comfortable with, the photos are always the best because they
Yeah.
just see me for me. Same thing with like the person that's doing your content. Like she knows when I'm about to do something absolutely ridiculous, and like she's kind of in my headspace. So we were able to pump out some like really, really. And every time before these trips, I always get so much anxiety that I'm not going to get enough content because I'm going to be so busy, and then people are going to be mad. They're going to unfollow me because I'm not delivering. We did probably the most amount of content I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, you posted so much.
I actually probably lost followers because I posted so much content. I was like, I'd rather lose from posting a lot than lose from not posting.
It's all fun content too, though. So I think
Yeah.
that's what makes it easy and exciting. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
we had like a really, really fun time. We're kind of, I mean, I'm still going through it a little bit, and I'm leaving for Paris. I don't know when. I think sometime next week.
Soon.
And I have an allergic reaction on my face, and I'm having a photo shoot tomorrow. That's fine. We're gonna figure that out. But I wish we had more tea for you guys. But honestly, we just had the best time. We had so much fun. It's been 1 year that you've been working for me.
Yeah, just about. It was October that I started working with Christina, and can't believe we're almost in October, but
yeah,
1 year, baby.
Yeah.
And
it's
many
been
more
so
to
amazing.
go.
Yeah, it's really been like, if you know, I know even when I would tell people that I was having Kelsey work for me, I think everybody's initial reaction is like, ooh, you know, because you hear so many stories of like families and friendships getting in the way of business. It's been so nice. And honestly, if you have the opportunity to work with your friend, someone that, not just like a friend that you genuinely trust, a friend that's like going to look out for you, it's so much easier because like you can really, really trust them, and you know they're going to look out for you, and it just makes everything so much more seamless.
I feel like that's a question that we got a couple times on Instagram.
Working
It's just
together?
like how it is working together. And I feel like it's a boring answer, but it's been fabulous.
I will
Like,
also say
there's-
this. Honestly, a friendship fallout might be the best thing that ever happens to your friendship. If you have a friend right now that you're like, I know this person's my best friend, but we're not seeing eye to eye, and they're kind of pissing me off, and we're not communicating, let the fallout happen.
Yeah.
Let it come to a head. Have that moment to sort through it. Because I will say, like, ever since we had that fallout, our friendship has only grown,
Gotten better.
in one direction. And for so long before we mended that, I would have moments where I'd be like, are we friends? Like, is she mad? And then once you clear out all of that stuff, it's just like, I always will give her grace and vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's just like, honestly, a friendship falling out might be the best thing that ever happens to your friendship. Same in a relationship too.
Yeah.
Sometimes shit's got to come to a head for you to have your soapbox, to finally have your courage to
Because we
say,
hold everything in,
Yeah.
and then it's like finally when
Let
you
it out.
get to let it out, and then you're like, okay, wait, we actually both feel certain things. Let's talk about it, and then it mended, and it's
Yeah.
been, that was a couple years ago. It's been fabulous ever since. I feel like
It's been
we
really-
wouldn't have been able to work together
no,
if that never
shot in
happened.
hell.
It also happened at the perfect time, at the perfect age, at the
Yep.
perfect point in your career and in mine, that like everything really came together so seamlessly. And there's obviously learning curves. Like I
Yeah.
had to learn certain things that she liked, and she had to learn kind of how I like to work. But I feel like so far we've
it's been great.
only going up, and
Yeah.
it's been fabulous.
It's been really great. I'm very grateful. I know I've been annoying about saying thank you, but you were such a trooper. You dealt with so many jobs. You figured it. That's the other thing too, is you figure things out. If I give you something that you don't know, you find a way to figure it out. You're very resourceful. You're very like quick on your feet. You're very calm.
Keep it coming.
You're only getting this because the cameras are rolling. Once the cameras shut off, you're fucking done. No,
I love you.
Genuinely, I would not have been able to do all of this without you. And I think that it's such a heightened week where, oh my God, what if someone gets a bad photo of me? Or what if there's an interview question that's weird? Or what if I have a huge zit? Whatever, like just stupid, really superficial things though that are consuming you, because in some light, it is a superficial week. We're sitting at fashion shows and, there is something about it that's, fun and whatever, but
there's also a million cameras in your face. And, you're in glam, and there's a lot of expectation and pressure on you too to like look a certain way.
I only had to think about, where do I need to be? How can I like show up with the most amount of energy and be me? And everything else was taken care of. And that was honestly like the only way I ever want to do Fashion Week.
And if you saw us in New York, you saw Christina, and then you saw me trailing with the camera.
Yep. And then quick changes in the car and like people shuttling us to where we needed to be. And we had a blast. I had so much fun.
It was so fun.
I guess that's the fucking tea. Do you have anything else to add?
Those femme LA heels.
Oh, dude.
I never want to wear those again. That's my last piece of tea. Yeah. My toesies.
That's the other thing too, is like you're in heels all day, every day. And you're walking on cobblestone. Like New York streets are fucking cobblestone on some of those Soho
streets. And you're wearing
streets.
heels day and night,
and they're not comfortable
for a week. I mean, look, those heels were fabulous. I borrowed them from Christina. They were just these like little strappy.
They reposted your carousel.
Oh, did they?
They came up as a
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I love that. They were fabulous. They were gorgeous, but
they hurt like a fucking bitch. I said to her, she was like, I was like, do you want to borrow these shoes? She's like, yeah. I was like, I'm just letting you know, these shoes are great. They're perfect. You feel great. And then out of nowhere, they get spooky, like fast.
No,
and I watched it hit. Yeah.
It all of a sudden, my feet were like swollen and they were like strappy, and the straps were stuck on.
It was dicey.
They were fabulous shoes for a photo, for a standing or a sitting moment, but we were also bopping around that night. And
and I have both my bunions are flared up, but I knew that was
Christina literally stuck her foot in the ice bucket at
during
the hotel.
glam. Yeah, you do what you got to do for fashion, okay? And if you saw my tit at Fashion Week,
you saw it. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did, because my tit was out. My tit was out in a lot of those BFAs. So,
fashion baby.
All right, well. We love you guys. Maybe we'll have tea for Paris. Hopefully it's just not on affecting me. Hopefully it's like tea of other people.
We love a little tea and a little gossip when we're not involved.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we love a little tea.
We love a little tea.
Okay, well, we love you guys. Say really nice things about my jacket in the comments so that I don't regret my purchase. And we'll see you guys next Thursday. I forgot what day the podcast was on. Love you.
Thursday. Bye.